Hello?
Absolutely. That now we are seeing this chopper. It's spread across almost, one would say, about a 50 to 60, 100 square feet area, and some particular parts of the chopper are being recovered. I don't know if that was a transmitter which was being picked up by one of the personnel there, but would they be looking for any more specific clues in that debris, Marshal Keeler?
The thing is this, that the aircraft is, but the very fact, the way it hit the ground and the way it scattered about, shows that whatever was on board was destroyed. So I don't think that even from this, you're going to get any information. Can you hear me?
Well, pretty much. I mean, I think the visuals speak for themselves, don't they, Marshal Keeler? It's pretty much along the lines of what we discussed yesterday. So if one were to say in conclusion that this is a crash landing that has been caused as a result of a deviated flight path, with the pilot moving in the wrong direction and then flying low, being pushed by the inclement weather, and then hitting straight into the ridge after turning left, losing control of the chopper well before impact. Would you agree with that as the
Yes,
more or less what we can make out of how the crash happened?
Yes, and it's not a crash landing, it's a crash. It's flown into the hill. A crash landing is when you land the aircraft. This is not a crash landing, it's flown into the hill.
You know,
okay?
Yes, Marshal Keeler, I heard you there that it's not a crash landing, it's a crash. It's a massive crash of that chopper. But how much time before the crash would you estimate, under those circumstances, would the pilot have lost control before the final moments?
No, it was in full control until he hit the hill, because he didn't see the hill. The visibility was zero. You see, he didn't see the hill at all. You follow? The visibility was so close that he couldn't see that in front of him there's a big hill. It's quite a common thing which happens when people violate and go below the safety height. It's a very standard pattern. Hello?
Marshal Keeler, stay on the phone line. I'm also joined by Kanu Gohain, who's the former Director General Civil Aviation. Mr. Gohain, I don't know if you're seeing these pictures that we are putting out on Times Now, but if you are, what do you make of it?
Sorry, you are from a location where I can't get the visuals. I don't see the visuals.
Mr. Gohain, from the evidence that you had heard so far about the location of the aircraft, the circumstances under which it was found, and the terrain, what did you make of what happened on that chopper? We can match that with the pictures we are seeing.
I have not seen any visuals. I repeat, I do not have any evidences. You have not shown me any visuals.
Okay, Mr. Gohain, I'm going to come back to you. The pictures are being beamed right now. We are seeing, in fact, on that split screen, you can see the search and rescue reconnaissance helicopters, all just a few hundred, maybe 50 to 100 feet above the debris. There is more than one chopper on job there. And you are seeing frantic efforts being made by both the rescue choppers to actually lift the debris that is available on the ground. Though Air Marshal Keeler, just speaking to me some time back, did say that pretty much nothing remains to be recovered from the site. The nature of the crash, the pictures available on the ground, they speak for themselves. So in conclusion, what one can say here is that these pictures talk about an absolutely sudden crash. A crash which happened, there was no time frame literally between the crash and the moment the pilot knew that he had lost control. There would have been a period, however, wouldn't there, Marshal Keeler, when the pilot would have just been flying lost?
Hardly a few seconds.
As would have been the other four with him.
Just a few seconds. Chalo.
Just a few seconds, you say?
Just a few seconds, nothing more than that. Chalo. Because if he had seen it, he would have pulled up.
Well, here indeed. That's precisely the question that I want to ask you. If, as you are saying, he lost control on impact, he had turned in the wrong direction, he was lost, isn't the right instinctive reaction to just pull up?
But the
Or
clouds
is
were on
that
top.
made more difficult because of the weather?
Because of the clouds, he'd have to pull up into cloud. Now he's not allowed to go in cloud. He's cleared only for visual flight. So he was trying to follow the ground as much as he can, not realizing that ahead of him there was high ground coming up and he was not able to see it until the last minute.
So he was literally stuck in a situation. He had nowhere to go.
Absolutely.
Towards the end, he had the hills to his left in which direction he was moving.
Yes.
And he probably didn't know that he had taken the wrong direction.
Absolutely.
And he couldn't pull up because of the clouds.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Air Marshal Keeler, thank you very much for that. Just want to summarize what we are seeing here right now. Rahul, the pictures that we have on our screen are telling us quite a clear and apparent story. If we just put all the visual evidence that we have here on this channel and match it with the versions that the aviation authorities have told us, between about 5% of discrepancies, they all are pointing in one direction about what happened in the final moments of this Bell 430 aircraft. And this is exactly what we are being told what happened. This is not a crash landing, it's a major crash. It crashed at huge impact. There would have been a few seconds only. If you look at the pictures, experts are telling us there would have been literally a couple of seconds before this aircraft imploded. The pilot was obviously lost. He couldn't pull up in the circumstances because he was not allowed to fly on the ground. He had deviated. Instead of turning right, he had turned left. He was wide off his track, and it was therefore an extreme crash. That's what we have heard from our experts, and that's pretty much what we are getting in terms of the visual evidence on this story so far. Rahul, we keep following that story, but for now it's back to you in the studios.
Thanks indeed, Arnav. Yes, the first indications of the magnitude of this crash and the ferocity of the crash, of course, came from Union Minister for Home, P. Chidambaram, who said that the entire craft was mangled, it was charred, and the bodies recovered from it were also charred. And he also talked about a massive explosion. So that really is borne out by the evidences that we see in that footage that we have got. It's also, of course, from the accounts that we have got from the civil aviation experts, as well as those who are familiar